We thought it might be a good idea just to try and pull the thing together a little bit. Heck of a lot of questions, a lot of debate, a lot of discussion. And so really, having given it some considered thought, let's just start from the beginning. I think the first and probably most important thing from us is that we have support from the very top. You heard the Prime Minister's quote today that Dave read out, and I'll remind you, he actually said at the end of the quote, more people, more active, more often. Therefore, I think we should probably appoint him as the champion of more people, more active, more often. So, as far as I'm concerned, that's wonderful. Now, let's just quickly look at what we've heard today. Whilst there was some difference in execution between the Shadow Minister and the Minister, there was absolute unity about the need for action. That's a very important point. The second point is that we really felt, everybody felt throughout the day, that because the pace of our society is moving so quickly, and because sickness and illness, I talked about children in our primary schools, obesity is growing, we have to act, and we have to act quickly. I think there were 8 key themes that came out of today, and I'd like to quickly run through them. The first one, and it's a pretty obvious one, but I must tell you I was absolutely delighted to hear Mike Farrow, the Chief Executive of the Confederation of the National Health Service, say that he now wants to partner with ukactive. He wants to bring the medical community together with us to see how we can make a difference to patients' lives as well as to the people who work for us in the National Health Service. I think that's the first key point. We heard from Mike Kelly, who stated the evidence base for the use of physical activity in the prevention and management of chronic diseases has never been clearer, and that encouraging an active lifestyle has never been more important or more cost-effective. We heard from Anne and Andy about the importance of tackling obesity and clearly using physical activity as a tool in helping our clinicians. We heard William over there, who's championed this for years, helping our clinicians to understand how to use physical activity as both a preventative and a remedial tool to help people's health. Now, secondly, and again, this is a massive opportunity for us. So first plank of the strategy is getting involved with our medics and our health community. The second part is local authorities. The localization program has come. The power and the funding is in the hands of local authorities and the local authority chief executives. And guess what? Each one of you lives and works in a local authority. So we need our champions, our leaders. For example, I had a chat with Dave Wright, who many of you will know outside earlier. Said, Dave, you are really not uncomfortable in asking the difficult questions and challenging people. Well, I would like you to go and join one of those commissioning boards. Get yourselves on those boards, because if we do believe as a sector, as ukactive, that it is important to get investment into physical activity for both preventative and curative means, then we have to get stuck in our local communities. And I think that is the second very important point. Please don't wait for your local authority officials or politicians to do it. Go and get involved and make it happen yourselves. The power is in your hands. Okay, I think it's a TV program like that, isn't there? Power in your hands. Oh, I won't say which it is. So the next point, and really the third point, is supporting children and young people in establishing an active lifestyle from the earliest possible age. And specifically, of course, encouraging young girls to become and then remain physically active. Now, it seems obvious, but we've got to do it, and we've got to do it quickly. We've heard about the obesity rates. That's why I'm delighted, I'm going to give you some examples, that ukactive has established partnerships with a number of the sponsors today, Premier Sport, Slimming World, and Danone, who readily support, and here's the key, are willing to invest real hard cash in encouraging children to play sport and become more physically active. You only have to look at something called the Danone Nations Cup, which sees 40 countries from around the world competing in an international event, under 11s, for a World Cup. And it's coming to this country. And what Danone are also doing is committing to deliver physical activity in schools in the Brent area. We're hoping we can get it into Wembley. And it's an example of using big business, which can provide, I talked about earlier, behavior change insight, funding, and a commitment to use its knowledge and expertise and its products to get more people more active more often. The fourth area that comes out very clearly for me is that it's vital to secure the support of employers. Employers, again, have an absolute key role to play in improving the nation's health by getting people active. Whether they are businesses, whether they are charities, major commercial brands can, do, and must help us to understand in our SME communities how to most effectively improve employees' health. Why? Because it's in the interests of business to do so. The fitter and healthier the workforce are, the better productivity and the better success of the organization, whether it's a charity, whether it's a trust, whether it's a business. So it's very important for business to play a role. And as you heard earlier, I chair the Responsibility Deal Physical Activity Network, and I would encourage everybody in this room to join. Why? Is this about the government? No, it's not. It's about mixing in the company of Coca-Cola, of Danone, of Asda. It is about creating partnerships where millions of pounds are being spent by Macmillan in walking. And we have a very important role to play because we have the facilities, the knowledge, the expertise to be a part of improving the nation's health. But if we don't get involved and join these organizations and from within drive more people more active, then we are missing a massive opportunity to use our expertise and capability to substantially influence the public's health. So I would encourage you all to get involved and join. Fifth, what's emerged today is it's really important, we heard it from the panel today, to drive volunteering, and volunteering particularly in community sport, and the importance of providing qualifications, of frameworks, of encouraging people to volunteer. Can't we turn our primary schools into centers where actually they're about physical activity and participation? Can we train our parents? Can we train our children in order to get them to become ambassadors, coaches, physical education providers? I think our schools and volunteering and parents have a very important role to play. Sixth, and this is very much an industry point, we have to have a workforce that is upskilled sufficiently to be fit for purpose. There is a massive demand for our expertise, and it is really important that we use both our Sector Skills Council and all means at our disposal to convince government, and I said it this morning, that we are a priority sector. We are a priority sector for investment in training and skills because we have something fantastic to offer the nation in terms of getting people active and improving their health. So it is up to all of us to get involved in bids with BIS, with the Skills Funding Agency. We heard today about the Growth Innovation Fund. There is significant funding. I had a discussion, just as a matter of interest, I had a discussion with somebody from DBIS, Department of Business Innovation and Science. He said there is a £150 million underspend in that ministry because the quality of the bids coming through were weak. Well, there's the opportunity for us. You've heard from the highest politicians in the land how important ukactive is to the public's health. You now know that there is significant funding available from the government. There is no shortage of money for training and skills. What we have to do is to unite, and it's been a common theme throughout the day, to unite to put successful bids in that see significant money flowing into our sector in order that we can recruit NEETs, we can upskill our current workforce, we can recruit unemployed people, and we can develop an army, a delivery army that is fit for purpose. My seventh point, and nearly there, my seventh point is the digital legacy. There is no doubt, and you heard today from number 10 IT people, you've heard from digital czars, of how important digital technology and communication is in the future. We heard from a business perspective from Neil from SLM, how important it is to his business. SPOGO has started magnificently. It was launched by number 10 Cabinet Office, Francis Maud. It is absolutely the future. And with all of our support, we have to make sure that not only does it survive, but it flourishes, and that requires two things: additional funding and everybody to bring the products, the services, the clubs, the programs that they run to UK Active, and let's get them loaded online so that when it launches in January, we have everybody in all the facilities on board, making it easier for people out in the communities to book facilities. And finally, and this has been a cross message, and by the way, these 8 planks, every one of us in the room can influence. Nobody pays me. I'm not paid by the FIA. I'm not paid by the responsibility deal. I choose to get involved and make a difference, and all of us have that capability, in particular in the localism agenda. And that's the key here. The power is in our hands. We must use it. The last point is the importance of getting cross-government support. Not only cross-government support, we've heard all the panelists today, education, Department of Health, DCMS, BIS, etc., but also cross-political support. And the one thing I can guarantee you is UK Active will be following up today Andy Burnham's promise of cross-party discussions. We will go further than that, because we will also recommend who should be sitting on that cross-party group in order to ensure that we unite a coalition around delivering physical activity at the heart of our nation. So let me finish just by saying thank you very much to everybody. I hope you've enjoyed the day. I'm going to call on Dave Stalker, our Chief Executive, I must come up with another word, our wonderful Chief Executive, to come and close the session. But thank you very much for your time. We will be writing to you all to try and give you a summary of what we believe the actual actioned outcomes from today could be and should be. Thank you very much for your time.
Okay, we're just about there, everybody, and as inappropriate as this, I'm desperate for a beer. And I also know they're out there and they're cold and they're really calling for me. Anyway, I want to start. This is just the thank yous, the quick thank yous. So the sponsors, once more, the mix of sponsors is indicative of today's event and the future direction of UK Active. Recognizing our ambition to make physical activity a priority sector for education and training, I'm delighted that Skills Active are our lead partner for both this event and our wider ambition. Similarly, our supporting partners, Premier Sport, key players in the drive to get children and young people active. And over there, Slimming World and the hundreds of thousands of ladies, etc., they're taking on that losing weight path. PR partners, Action PR, and if you've missed anything that's happened, everything has been filled and logged and will be available on the new website. And missed sessions, we will get things out to trade media. And lastly, our other partners, SPOGO, ASDA Active, the No Nations Cup, Change for Life, people who Fred just mentioned, important partnerships for the future, and key partners because they do represent digital, children, families, public health. This event could not have gone ahead without their support, and I look forward to working with all of them forward. Similarly, I would like to extend a huge thank you to all of today's speakers, and of course, I would like you all to join me in a round of applause once again to our John Inverdale and those speakers for a fantastic day. You have today heard all about the importance of getting the nation more active and how we have the best chance of doing so if everyone in the room today works in partnership. Partnerships are at the heart of UK Active, which is why we conducted an extensive consultation which only really finished this week, and as has been outlined and discussed with a number of people today, and then discussed it with key partners. And the feedback was enormously positive, and there is a wall running with the quotes, and they're in press packs, and we really feel the success of UK Active and our ambition to get the nation more active really does depend on cooperation with all those partners. We cannot establish physical activity as core business of the NHS without partners in the medical community, and it's great that so many of them are here today. Similarly, without the commitment of the ASDAs and Danones of this world, we will fail to engage corporate Britain in the bid to get more people more active more often. Of course, we will rely on positive relations with government as well, at both local and national level, in everything we seek to achieve. I have to say that I've been immensely encouraged as I've been around the country and spoken to so many people and heard what they say, and I would love to spend sort of half an hour reading out all their lines, but that would just be rather getting a little bit carried away, and I know that there's Rubik cubes in people's hands which may be thrown in this direction, so we'll skip on that. I will not recite each quote and messages. They're there to be read and to be seen. The nation needs to be more active. It's not a choice. It's an unquestionable requirement. As 2012 draws to a close, there has never been a better opportunity or more collective willing to do so. Success, back to that more people, more active, more often, requires collaboration and partnerships with the broadest possible range of stakeholders. We welcome UK Active as one of the organisations capable of establishing such partnerships. I always sort of finish these speeches events by asking you all to ensure that today is not the peak of your engagement with UK Active. I hope you will get fully engaged and speak to my team. So I encourage you all to pick them out and have words with them. And drawing back to what was mentioned earlier, I am going to just replay David Cameron's words. I'm delighted to support UK Active as it launches its plan to help embed physical activity into the DNA of our communities by getting more people more active more often. I hope we can all work together to achieve this ambition and get the UK active. Before we go, I just wonder if there could be one sort of last round of applause, and that is for what was FIA team, which is now UK Active team, who pulled this together, and I think they've done a really good job. Thanks, team. So, past and present Olympians not included, I'll race you all to the bar. Thank you.